Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this morning. We have a great show lined up, a special guest here in the studio. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and 77. And things going on really good there. We're going to get those folks on pretty soon. But first, let's talk about, it's going to get it, but first day is 68. We're going to hit 70 degrees today. We have a nice day. We're looking at 48 for low. And everybody's asking about the water temperature this week. Right now, it's exactly 64.9. Not quite 65, it's 64.9. It actually dropped a degree from yesterday, but they are still catching some fish off the pier. It's not tearing them up, but they are catching some fish off the pier. That's always been a bellwether to go by what's going on at the pier. The river readings at Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 14.9. It's steady today. It's going to start dropping tomorrow, and it's still high. The river down the Weewall and all through the lower end is high. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville is reading a 7.6, and it's just got a slow, steady drop. And it's not long. If it keeps doing this, it'll start getting close to being right. As the old timer said, it's going to have to get right. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We talked about this yesterday. We're in neap tides the next couple of days. Not much tidal flow at all. Our marine forecast is going to be west-northwest, pretty strong today, 13. Remember, March is always a windy month. I'm always talking about March comes in like a lion and leaves like a lamb. Well, it's right now 13. It's blowing 13. It's going to settle down tonight about 7 out of northwest. Let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Welcome back, folks, and our special guest this morning, James Hance. Good morning.
Morning.
Glad to have James, and listen, this is a great story. I've been trying to get him to come on. He finally, I wanted to get his daughters all come on, but James got it by himself. James, he's on here because he's one of our new advertisers and all, but he came to tell the story, and got out there on the shirt, Simply Seafood. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We were talking, he's going way back here. He's a local guy, went way back to the Rutherford days in the early 70s and all. Then tell us about growing up in this area.
Well, it wasn't, it was a lot different back then. Run Cherry Street, went to Callaway Elementary.
Yeah.
Wound up at Everett and graduated from Rutherford in '74.
That's cool. And your wife from Defuniak Springs?
Defuniak Springs, Paige Cotton.
The Cotton family up there in Walton County. So he had an interesting career. And how he ended up where he is fascinating. So, yeah, you finished high school and all. So, what happened? And what all did you do after high school?
Well, Winn-Dixie put me to work bagging groceries. Everybody remembers that. Most everybody's worked for Winn-Dixie at some time or other.
That's where you start. Put them in the bag.
And then they promoted me up pretty fast and told me to make a decision to pursue more college or to go on and become a store manager. So I was at one time the youngest store manager they had, and then the youngest district manager.
Really? So you were working with them for a good while and just worked your way up through the Winn-Dixie chain?
And then the company had troubles, and I left there and opened the first firehouse subs here in Bay County.
That was cool now. I remember going to the firehouse and I didn't realize how good those sandwiches were going to be. How'd you get hooked up with firehouse?
Well, Winn-Dixie had moved me over to Pensacola to work, and there was one over there, and I ate in it, and I said, this is really good. And I told the guy, I said, how did you get into this? And he said, well, they may start franchising. So he took my number, and whenever they started franchising, I came to back to Panama City and opened the first store, and we wound up with 4.
Wow. That was cool. And you had them, I know the one up here in Lynn Haven when I kept going to, and it was amazing. And, one thing that was fascinating, not just the taste of the sandwich, always good courtesy. Everybody was happy there. It was clean, and that was just always impressive.
Well, thank you. The girls made a lot of difference in that, too. They worked with me there also.
Oh, yeah. And now, tell us about your family.
Well, got 3 kids, Brandy, Ashley, and Adam. Adam operates heavy equipment. That suits him. He likes that. But the girls have always helped me in the restaurants, and they've always enjoyed that.
Yeah. And you've seen them in the commercial, right in the commercial and all, and they just always had. And I've had all 3 of them in my outdoor classes, and They were the same way as teenagers. They just had this beaming smile and always happy, and I just got a kick when they walked into the class.
Yeah,
They're always smiling.
Yeah, it was always good through school. I never had to worry about it.
No, you didn't. And Ashley, I tried to get Ashley and Brandon both to come on this morning. They said they were sleeping.
Brandy's in Tennessee.
Okay.
And then Ashley said that it was early.
It was early. And so now you go through, you're doing the firehouse, four firehouses, that's a pretty good business operation. So what happened then? You decided to...
Well, I got sick and I couldn't work, and the kids were so young, we sold the company.
You sold the franchises?
Yeah. And I was friends with Sam Redmond.
Okay.
Who had Sam's seafood market and oyster bar, and I kept talking to him. He was a good man, and he said he wanted to retire, and I said, well, my daughter would probably like having this. And so we come to an agreement, and Sam sold us the place, and it went from where it was at to where it's at now. The girls have they built the business well.
Well, I know you're going to give a lot of credit to the girls, but I remember going in there that first week when we all were opening, and they were still hammering and nailing and opening up and all, and I'd been to Sam's before too, and I was just tickled to see it. It just kept on going and all. And again, we go back to the quality of the food and all, and we're going to get to that. But your wife has always been, you talking about how behind the scenes, always helpful and all.
Well, she made all the desserts from scratch.
That's amazing.
She had 4 that she did. She'd come in and make them from scratch, serve them out there, and that was one of the things that helped us because people come in for those particular desserts. Her carrot cake was her specialty.
You don't get a homemade carrot cake in many places.
Yeah, my cousin had ALS, and we took care of him until he died. And whenever she'd asked him what he wanted that carrot cake that she made, so we had to put it on the menu.
Oh, that is cool. And also you got some grandkids who keeps you pretty busy too.
Oh, they keep me pretty busy.
How many you got?
There's 7 of them.
7, yeah, I keep busy. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with James. Welcome back. Here with our special guest, James Hance from Simply Seafood up there in Lynn Haven, about 2 blocks there south of the bridge. And it's a place that Gail and I frequent often, at least once or twice a week. And it's just, the only reason we go there, a couple of reasons. It's good food, but they're so friendly. You just feel like part of the family. I really do.
Thank you.
The girls hug me, and I see you, and the guys back there cooking, and it's an ideal place. So look, we got some pictures here. Let's talk about, again, this picture. Tell us about this picture right here, James.
That was Sam's card whenever I first got to know him.
Okay.
I opened Firehouse Subs about the same time he opened the Sam's Seafood Market and Oyster Bar. We got to be friends. Sometimes we'd even trade food. I'd get shrimp and he would get sandwiches.
That's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is how it originally looked. It used to be an old gas station.
Right. Sam took it and turned it into a little place to come, and he done well with it. People come to see him quite a bit. Got to be friends with Sam, and
he had a very loyal audience of people. People coming, customers and all would come in there and all. Okay. So then, here's what you did.
And that's the new front with the Simply Seafood on it. The inside's been changed around a little bit, but Sam left me a couple of his little secrets, and that was very nice of him.
Well, y'all did a lot of physical work. I was watching y'all do it, and y'all really did a lot of. You did a lot of work yourself, and
yeah, we worked on it and stayed open the whole time.
That was funny. You go in there and get some shrimp and all, and they over there hammering over there in the corner, and I felt right at home with that. Okay, tell us about this right here.
Well, most people get their first $1. We had a customer that gave us $2, and that was our first. Rather than first $1, that was our first $2.
And then Sam, if you go in when Sam had it, let's see, that's it right there too. Now, he used to just, people sign them on the wall. You see, I've seen restaurants do this.
They do. We took those and put them in a scrapbook that's there in the store for people to go back and look and see if they can find their bill if they want to.
Did you ever count how many you had in there?
I couldn't count that.
Oh, it was a bunch of them, wasn't it? All over the place. And tell us about this picture right here. That was
one of the rare moments. I caught Sam with a dozen oysters serving them, and he was smiling. Sam was a really good guy.
Yeah, and now getting back to the seafood and all, because if you're living in Panhandle, you just love. It's just part of your lifestyle to eat fresh seafood. That's why when I go out of town and all, I never eat seafood. I mean, because I know that I can't get it any better than I do right here at home. And your restaurant is your suppliers and all. Tell us where you get your seafood and all that.
Well, there's a lot of the stuff comes out of East Point. Barber's Seafood is, and sometimes Webb's up there in Youngstown supply. But Barber's, a lot of that stuff. Right now we're getting farm-raised oysters out of Appalachia. Okay. Appalachia's a good bay.
The oysters coming out of Appalachia now?
Appalachia.
Farm-raised. How's that going?
Well, they're nice oysters. They're all uniform in size. They're salty, perfect to fit on a cracker, and the people really love them.
Now I'm gonna have to go get some oysters today. You shouldn't start talking about that. The shrimp, they coming out of the East Point area?
I get a lot of them from East Point. They come off the boats there, and they ship them to me.
Yeah. And
we got another supplier, Cheney, and it's just worked out well. Barber's is always taking care of me, and Webb's is always taking care of me.
Well, that East Point, Appalachicola area, that's been like ground zero of getting the fresh seafood, and I know Tarpon Dock gets stuff from there, and they unload right there at the dock and all. Well, I know I like the fish tacos. I've always loved fish tacos. Where do y'all get that fish? That's a cod, isn't it?
It's Atlantic cod.
Yeah. That's good. That's good fish.
It's mild. It's flaky, and it makes a good.
What are your hours now? Is it?
Well, we open at 11 o'clock Tuesday through Saturday, and the hours say 9 o'clock. But if you come, we don't close.
Really?
Yeah, we had an open sign in the window at one time. I took it down and threw it in a dumpster because I was afraid somebody turned it off. So if you're there, sometimes we still have people waiting at 9:15, 9:30. But if you make it there, we don't close. If customers are there, we stay for them.
It's just been a thrill personally to me, because I've known the family to see how you started and been so successful and all. And one of the attributes of any good restaurant, if you've got that same group of employees year after year and been with you day after day, month after month, and it looks like you do.
Well, the dining room hardly ever changes. Like half of it's my daughters, but the kids in the kitchen, some of them started when they were 16, and they're in college now, and they're still there. So they have learned and done a good job back here.
I always get fascinated at how you run how kitchens and restaurants, how it stays so organized, and everybody's working, but everybody looks organized. Is that a challenge?
It is a challenge most times. They've got it down pat. You can only do one thing at a time, so don't get lost in everything when you can only do one thing at a time.
You got an oyster bar there, and you got this group of guys come in there, and I see a lot of them, and ladies too, that sit at that oyster bar on a regular basis.
Yeah, I got customers that are in there every day.
I'm serious. And another thing too, you got what do you call that, good ice. You got that ice machine there when you put the ice in the drinks and all, and you get to go back and make your own drink or whatever.
Yeah, everybody's always waiting on a drink. They don't wait on it. It's right there close to them.
You got it, and also you still got some old signs up with it, like the old gasoline signs and all. Where'd you get all that stuff from? That's all old Guff sign there.
Yeah, the old Guff sign. Most of that stuff was given to me. Customers come in, they liked it, and they saw it as it remodeled. And a good bit of the decoration in there has a story to it and a name to it.
No kidding.
When we took the drop ceilings out, the old gas station doors were there, and so we decided not to take them out. We just run them down, anchored them, and then left them in there.
That was funny. That really looked good. And the only drawback I see is y'all are too good because you have so many people coming in. It's amazing that number of people that go there.
Well, we're working on some expansion.
I know you're going to have to expand and all. And people call me, and especially when people come from out of town, they want some fresh seafood. I said on a local restaurant. I said, I take them there. and I want to recommend that to you. And then we've been wanting to get y'all come on and advertise. Jeff went up about 2 weeks ago and shot a commercial, and that turned out really good.
Well,
got the girls in it.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah, spent a lot of time doing that. Y'all did a great job with it.
Well, Jeff, it wasn't y'all. Jeff Peck does all that stuff and all. All right, we're going to take our final break and be right back. All right, welcome back. Sitting here with James Hance from Simply Seafood. Let's look at fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 1:07 a.m. to 3:07, and this afternoon after lunch, 1:34 to 3:34. That might be a good time to take a long lunch break there. A couple of quick pictures I want to show before we get back with James. Here's old Braden Harris, young Braden Harris. Look at that right there. Had a good time with my buddy Noah Denham and his pops, Mr. Jesse Denham. That is a nice bass right there. And one more. This is supposedly the first king caught this year out of the Miss Maggie out of Treasure Island Marina. Congratulations and good job there. Okay, James, talking about you don't have much time to do outdoor stuff anymore, do you?
They keep me busy.
You keep you pretty busy. And we were talking off air, and Jeff brought this up. The food prep, it's not fried food. What's your theory behind all your food prep and all?
It's a steam bar.
It's a steam bar.
Raw and steam bar. It's hard to keep up with just what we're doing there to put something in fried, but it's just simple stuff. The menu's simple. We don't use any frozen vegetables. All vegetables come in. We prep them and cook them fresh, and we move on from there. So it's just a good little place.
What's the most popular order? I mean, when people come in, you get more orders for what?
We get the shrimp boil. We call it the shrimp boil. Actually, my daughter Brandy came up with it. We had a shrimp dinner, and she said, we need to just do a whole shrimp boil. So she come up with the idea of putting, fresh corn, potatoes, and sausage, and all with the shrimp, sort of like when you get in the backyard and you just boil it and pull it up on the table and start eating.
I'm telling y'all, and that's what when Gail and I go in about 4 or 5 times, that's what we'll get. It's a shrimp boil, and it's delicious. And everybody loves a shrimp boil, but it's a lot of work to put on a shrimp boil. It's a lot simpler to go to Simply Seafood. Honestly, now. In fact, and you have some carry-out orders too. I mean, you can if somebody wants to order a big amount.
We do. How
does that work?
We got shrimp boils that you can feed 12 to 24 people. It's pretty easy. You got it all there. You can take it home, pour out your newspapers, dump it out, and let everybody go eat. We do crawfish the same way.
Is that right? That's not a bad idea. Like I say, it's a lot simpler to do that. I just tell people I just finished cooking it. Y'all come on over. What about on the sausage? What kind of sausage you got? That sausage tastes good in that shrimp boil.
We call it a hot link.
Is that what it is?
We've got a mild, but the hot link's what everybody likes.
Okay.
It's the Somerset sausage.
Okay. Okay. Now the girls, when I say the girls, Brandy and Ashley, they stay busy being moms and everything else, and still work pretty strong there, don't they?
They do.
And I know they're active in the. I think kids go to maybe Southport Elementary or something. They're active at the school. They talk about that and all.
Yeah, whenever they do their fall festival, we usually fix shrimp bowl plates so that they can sell them up there and help make money for the kids.
Yeah. Now, I'm just at random and talking. One of the things too, what's your biggest challenge as a restaurant owner? I know these small town restaurant owners always ask you, what's your biggest challenge you think you have to face on a regular basis?
Being consistent. We've been very, very blessed in that our dining room don't turn over. You see the same faces every time. The kitchen staff, we train most of them. They started when they were 16 years old. Now they're in college, and they're still working there.
Yeah.
Well,
the feeling you get when you open that door and walk in, you feel like you belong there. And you're supposed to be eating there, and you run into folks and all. And I want to encourage all you folks from Mariana and Chipley and over there in Liberty County when you drive down here and just get there and just enjoy yourself. It's 2 blocks there south of the Lynn Haven Bridge, and easy to get to and all. Yeah. And you can park in the back.
Most everybody knows the ones that shucks oysters there. Glenda.
Tell about them.
Glenda and I graduated together. We went to school together.
No, I did not know that.
Graduated together. And she's behind the bar, and she's a local favorite.
Yeah, she's good.
She's been shucking oysters for 40 years.
What's her background? She's an oyster shucker.
She's an oyster shucker. Her brother was Gene, and she was a brooner. She's a mill irons now, but everybody loves Glenda and comes to see her, and also Keith.
If you're from the east side of town, those mill irons and the brooners and all, that's the east side folks there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she is definitely a gem for us to have.
Oh, man.
And Keith also, the other one back there.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why it's a unique place, and you need to come, just be part of it and all. And like I say, we'll eat there sometimes twice a week. We got guests coming in. I ran into one of my former students there. Y'all saw that group from Virginia that came down and helped rebuild a house in Haven, clean it up and all. That's where I ran into them. I was standing right there at the door, and she was one of my former students. And her parents told her, she asked them, she said, where can I take my friends out to eat that's good? I said, go down there simply. And she came in there. And that's what happened.
Yeah, that's really nice. Glenda's interesting. She's like I said, she's been doing it for 40 years, and there's some people come here. I can shuck oysters, and they get over next to her, and then they can see how to shuck oysters.
Just go watch the shuck oyster. You don't see very many people. There's not many people left that's been doing it 40 years, really. There's only a handful, and it's just fascinating to watch her. I mean, it's just automatic. Boom, boom, boom. And
I can't keep up with it.
I don't even want to try. Well, James, we're about to run out of time. I want to thank you for coming on and all. And next time you bring the girls on.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it's been great having you. And again, the address is 429.
429 Ohio, which is 77.
Mm-hmm. Right, going out of Lynn Haven, right there on the right.
It's the blue building.
Yep.
When we painted it blue, our business went up because people found out it was there.
The blue building, all those little things you learn.
Yeah.
You went from firehouse to seafood. Which one do you like better?
I like the seafood better.
We
have the greatest customers in the world. It's a local place. It's just a lot of fun being there. It's not uncommon for everybody in the dining room to know each other.
Thank you, James. Thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good for someone, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.